Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review for Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. This is the second book in the Gentleman Bastard series. I will leave my review for the first book, The Lies of Locke Lamora, on the screen if you have not read that already. So Red Seas Under Red Skies picks up technically a few years after the events of The Lies of Locke Lamora, but there are a series of flashbacks that follow what happened a few months after The Lies of Locke Lamora, leading up to where they are now. So Jean and Locke are on a completely different quest at this point, completely different mission, different heist, everything, and as is typical Gentleman Bastard fashion, it isn't all what it appears. What they think is going to be their main goal ends up getting warped into a completely different thing, and they get pulled into craziness as they tend to, and everything takes off from there. So first off, I'm going to talk about the world building with this series. I love this world. I don't have a hard time picturing it at all. It's kind of this mix of, there's a certain element of like magic to it, but there's almost more of this like alchemical feel to it. It's not steampunky, I wouldn't say, but it has this more like alchemical potions, alchemical like automaton type stuff, but again, not steampunk, like these kind of like tech mixed with magic type system. There is an element of magic with certain people and certain like hints of things, but it's not the typical magic that you get from like a Brandon Sanderson or something like that. Like this is a very different feel to it, and I just love this world. These worlds are definitely more like politically motivated, and they have that like spice of magic to it, and I really love that. This book mostly takes place on a series of kind of islands, and it's sort of this like, for lack of a better term, like Las Vegas island, and it's great. This book is if you mix Ocean's 11 with not 11 people, obviously, and Pirates of the Caribbean. Just smash them together. Those are two of my favorite franchises ever. So this was just a wild, fun ride for me. Next, I'm going to talk about our characters. I love John and Locke so much. They're my two favorite small children who are not children, who are in fact grown men that are incredibly smart but also incredibly foolish, my stupid sons. And I love them. They are complex characters. They have a very complex relationship. This book definitely has them in a lot of kind of turmoil and sort of doubting one another and doubting themselves, and a lot happened in the first book that has really influenced their relationship in the second book, and there's all these different flashback scenes, like I said, and Scott Lynch is really good about doing flashbacks, and I just love them. And then we get a ton of new characters as well. You get the different marks that they're going after, but you also get some different side characters, and all of them are really fun, fleshed out characters. These books should honestly be made into TV shows, and I'm so mad that Amazon decided to make more Lord of the Rings books into movies when you could just do this. It's right here. Why not? But I have such an easy time picturing these characters' mannerisms and the way they just exist in the world, and even all these side characters. Like, the additions of some of these side characters are just so perfect, so great, and I love them. There's also a lot of new lady characters in this series. Not that there's never any lady characters in general, but the first book had just lady side characters, and this book has more prevalent lady side characters, which I'm always a fan of. Lastly, we talk about the plot. Again, winding, weaving plot. These books are very unpredictable for me, at least. I never know which way it's going to turn. Locke is such an amazing just strategist, and the things that he comes up with are just astounding to me, so I never know what way he's going to turn. I never pick up on any clues ever. I never know. And also, they get pulled into all these different things. They are sort of famous, but they're also keeping their identities under wraps, as like thieves would. So they end up getting pulled into these crazy schemes where they think they're after one specific thing, and then someone else finds them and they end up having other things, and there's ramifications from the first book and all this stuff. There's all these different moving parts, but it's never overly confusing or anything, and it definitely moves forward at a really good clip. There is a lot of nautical jargon in this book that I will kind of warn about, but I didn't find it really too technical, and it didn't really bog me down, but I think some people might get potentially a little bit bogged down in this, but it's worth it for the pirates. Man, it's worth it for the pirates. So if you've been looking for a pirate book, this is a pirate book. Is it strictly a pirate book? No, it's Ocean's 11 mixed with pirates, which is the best. I will say there was one thing about the plot that I found a tad bit predictable, which I will talk about in my spoilery gush about this book, but other than that, this book is near perfection. I just love this series. It's one of my favorite series. I trust Scott Lynch so much, and I will continue to read these books no matter how long it takes him to come up with the next books. I don't care. I love them. And whenever I read these books, like after I dipped back into this, after taking so long to get back to it after The Lies of Locke Lamora, I'm like, wow, what took me so long? I love this so much. But a part of me is also like really grateful that I'm taking my time because it means more time spent in the world with these amazing characters. So I end up giving this book 4.75 stars. I might bump it up to 5 because talking about it more makes me think like it's a 5-star book. Like, don't be picky. But I'm trying to be really picky about my 5 stars. And the one thing is just like the one thing, but it's probably 5 stars. 4.75 to 5 stars. So as I said, I will be doing a full spoilery gush on this book, which I'll leave linked on the screen for you to check out if you have read it already. So comment down below, let me know what you thought of Red Seas Under Red Skies. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!